Hi guys, so for this episode today, I'm going to be talking about the power of music. So this is a very different subject and kind of more complex to talk about because for a lot of things, music can, like, for a lot of people, music can mean a lot of different things. There's also tons of different genres, tons of different ways music can impact you. And I think for each person, it's very personal. Some people don't really have the same connection with music as other people, and some people more have connections to instruments instead of music as like genres and types and sounds, and but a lot of people just connect with artists, lyrics, and I don't know, I was kind of wanting to talk a little bit today about some of my thoughts and experiences with music, and yeah. So I'm gonna be excited to share with you guys. So yeah. So for my first topic, or what I'm gonna kind of get into, is how music can affect your mood. So specifically, I think when you're like, if you play any sports, I think it's always fun to kind of get yourself excited and a little hyped with different types of music. And when you're sad, sometimes listening to sad music can make you sadder, or it can help you relate to things, like we kind of talked about in my lyrical episode. But there's also, when you're happy and you listen to sad music, you might tend to become more sad, or it might affect your mood. Or if you're sad and you listen to happy music, then it could make you more happy and more excited. There are a lot of just different ways music can affect your mood. And also, I think sometimes for me personally, if I listen to a song a lot when I was in a bad place, or if this song reminds me of a time in my life, a person in my life, even if the song is, happy, maybe the lyrics are happy, maybe the tune's upbeat, sometimes I can find myself in a place where it's like reminiscing of maybe longing or yearning, or kind of like a place like that where it doesn't really, like, the music itself doesn't really affect me, but the memories I have with that music affects me. So that was kind of my first point of topic, is how music affects your mood and how it can connect with your mood too. Because if you listen to happy music and you're happy, then I feel like that's always a fun experience. If you're listening to sad music when you're sad, sometimes the lyrics can relate with you, so you feel less alone, or you feel more you can kind of more regulate your emotions and feel them. And sometimes it's good to feel your emotions for a second, let them sink in, and then move on with your day. There's a lot of times where I'll put something on, find it relatable, be like, okay, like, that was sad, I'm sad, but let's move on now. Anyways, and there's a lot of just different things like that, and coincidences almost, where music can connect with you and be in touch and all of that stuff. So yeah. So along with that topic, I also kind of wanted to talk about how music can bring back memories. Obviously, I kind of got into that a little bit, but I always love hearing a song I listened to when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, that song was literally my childhood. So I think music like that is so fun to listen to as well. Also, movies. Music can help strengthen some of the cinematic scenes, memories, and stuff like that. But I don't know, sometimes I'll listen to music and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of the movie. Or maybe the movie made the music, and that kind of just like lifts me up or stuff like that. So I don't know, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. The next topic I wanted to talk about was the community and sense of belonging that music can bring people. There are so many people in the world that listen to music, and there are so many different types of music. But whatever music you listen to, usually, or that genre or that area of music you listen to, usually there are people who listen to the same thing as you. Maybe not your next door neighbor, maybe not your best friend, but when you find someone who listens to the same genre, people, artists as you do, that sense of community and that sense of similarity and that sense of connection always makes me feel so excited and happy. And I think that's just like a really cool thing about music and how it brings people together. There are a lot of eras too where there was a genre specific to an era that kind of brought people together, like the 70s music, the 80s music, like all of that kind of brought people together because that's kind of what everyone was listening to because that was all the music that was around. When we're at an age now where there are so many different genres, so many directions people go with music now, it is even more easy to find your people with those music. Although I have plenty of best friends, plenty of people, plenty of family that listen to completely different genres than me, but I find that I have the most to talk about with people who I can connect with on something I'm so passionate about, like music. If you're passionate about other things like sports, I'm sure you gravitate to people who are more knowledgeable in sports. Same thing, like I gravitate to people who are more knowledgeable about music. And I also want to add that I think it's so fun to learn about different genres and things in music. Even if I don't necessarily connect with that genre, I think it is so fun and easy to learn about someone else's genre of choice. So although that might not be some people usually stick with their lane. I love talking to people, and if they're passionate about their genre, then I'm like, okay, like, put me on, tell me, like, let me go listen to it then. Like, let me find the same joy that you get out of it. Like, you're telling me, and they're so passionate, they're like, yes, like, I love this band, I love this person, like, this genre is so good, it saved me, like, and stuff like that. And even though maybe I first didn't get it, I like to go listen to it with maybe their ears, with their brain, and be like, oh my gosh, this makes sense for them. Although maybe I don't particularly listen to this genre, I see where they're coming from and I acknowledge that. Like, I think music is such an art. I really cannot, there are a couple of genres or a couple of songs or artists maybe where it's like, okay, have we lost something along the line? Have we lost the art? But usually I can always find something with, whether it's the beat, the lyrics, the talent, the range, the melody, like all of that. I think it's easy to find. It's the art and the joy and the root of the music. So going along a little bit with the community, I think there's something about fandoms that bring people together as well. If you have the same interests, the same knowledge as someone else, that completely brings people together, whether it's online or in person or all of that. Along with the communities and fandoms, I also think concerts are a great place that brings people together who like the same music, who bought the same tickets, who put their energy and time to getting ready, to driving over there, and to enjoy the sound, and to really immerse themselves with the music. And sometimes you can go to a concert you're not really passionate about, but maybe you just like a fun thing. But either way, everyone around you is to have fun. Everyone around you's goal is to listen to music and enjoy themselves. So I think that's another beautiful thing about music, where, it's a community, it's a culture, and it's a lifestyle, honestly. Next thing I want to talk about is the culture in music. There are a lot of different points you can make, like maybe certain ethnicities have, created their own sound and kind of evolved over time. Maybe a certain group of people, beliefs, religions, they can find someone who talks about the same things they feel, and they can connect with them on that too. Like Christian music, like people who love God and love hearing about God, they can listen to someone who sings about how they love God and listen to God. You know what I mean? As well as maybe like different ethnicities. You know, music before it became all this mainstream like media thing. Music has been around for so long. It first started off with classical music and then evolved more into, you know, something like the Beatles, and then evolved more, and then there are so many different segments and regions, and like even before that there were also more common instruments used with more common cultures, right? Like you're gonna find more drums in places like Africa, and more chants in places like Native America, and those cultures eventually evolved from those sounds back in the day and have created their own genres with those influences. There's a lot of Latino music. There's a lot of more like R&B soul music that connects with everyone. I think anyone can listen to any type of music. I think art is a thing for everyone. But specifically, those type of music connects with those type of cultures because that's their history. That's their heritage, right? So hearing you know, songs like that and hearing stuff like that and the stories as well, like that is a sense of community and culture in itself. It can bring a sense of pride and unity throughout your culture, throughout your and even like things like the national anthem, you know, patriotic music. Like here we listen to that in America and we're all like, we get in touch with our patriotic side, I guess, and you know, when we're listening to the Star Spangled Banner, we feel that, right? It's the same thing with different cultures. They listen to, you know, some of their songs that they listened to growing up, or some of the songs that their grandparents showed them, or maybe the sounds they listen to when they travel and visit family, or when they stay here and visit family. Like, it's culture, it's heritage, and it is family history at a point, right? So I don't know, I think that's another really cool thing about music is, you know, finding a sense of culture and creating different genres based on that culture and evolving them and stuff like that. Anyways, so music is just such a thing I'm passionate about, and I love listening to any type of music, and specifically in whatever mood I'm in, and I love, you know, putting myself in other people's shoes and thinking of how that affects them and relates to them, and then putting myself in my own shoes and being like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm going to use to express that. As well as listening to lyrics and hearing someone talk about things that maybe I relate to, maybe I do not at all, but it's still fun and it still sounds great and I still enjoy it. So yeah, all of those are just reasons why I love music and why it makes me so happy, and I love going to concerts, and I love seeing people enjoy things that connect with them and that they're passionate about as well. I think music is such a diverse thing that a lot of us, if not all of us, love. Whether it's different genres, whether it's instruments, whether it's beats, whether it's tempos, whether it's anything, really. It's something we all can feel something. You can get emotional. You can get happy. You can feel the chills on your arms. You can hear that note being played and it can hit the right part of your brain and just really immerses you in just the beauty and creativity. And honestly, it's just so amazing. And anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and hearing me rant about my favorite thing ever. And I hope you guys find a way to enjoy your own music and share it with other people and just bring that more joy, light, and creativity into the world, because yeah, we need it. Anyways, goodbye.